Hey everyone, Ben here. Breaking news. EHANG, the urban air mobility stock, has plummeted by over 60% after a short seller report was released on the company. So firstly, in this video, we're going to dive into the short seller report. We're going to see what's true in the report, what's not true in the report, all the details about this, whether you should buy the stock, sell the stock, hold the stock, and we're going to dive into it all in this video. Really, let's just lay the foundations first of all. What we need to do in this video is not panic. We need to all relax. Short seller reports are a normal part of the market. Tesla was heavily plagued with short seller reports, which were all proven wrong. As with many other companies, it's a normal part of the business. Even NIO, when it was trading around $30 to $40, was plagued with short seller reports, and then the stock has continued to climb higher. It's not a reason to panic, guys. Basically, we just need to find out what's true in this report and what's not true in this report, because short sellers have an agenda. So for those who don't know what short selling is, basically somebody who sold a stock short are basically betting that the stock will fall. So some of these hedge funds, basically they sell certain stocks short, they're betting that it will fall, but they release a research report, they call it, but really it's propaganda in order to make the stock fall. Usually there's some truth in the report, but usually it's got a lot of spin on it, a lot of opinions, a lot of emotion in it, in order to make investors do volatile things like sell the stock. We need to keep a clear head, a clear mind, be relaxed, and we'll dive into the facts for what's happened with this stock. Now, this is breaking news and this story is still unfolding, so I'm just going to tell you the information I know right now with regards to this stock. But firstly, let's just remind everyone of what I've stated about this stock in previous videos. So it is a fantastic player in the urban air mobility space, the market leader in the urban air mobility space, but it also has a lot of risks. The stock was priced for perfection. It had a crazily high valuation. I stated this in past videos, and actually many people commented on my past video and said, Ben, it doesn't matter about the valuation. Valuations don't matter anymore. Valuations always matter. So basically, when a stock has ran up massively, it can leave it more vulnerable to reports like these. So that's just something to be aware of. Also, this is a Chinese company, which does come with inherent risks. Many Chinese companies are known for creative accounting, lack of disclosure in certain areas. So that's the second risk with this company. This is a purely speculative play as an investment, and we knew that when we invested into EHANG. But full disclosure, guys, I haven't sold any of my shares of EHANG yet. I did trim my position a few days ago, and I alerted people in the VIP group as the stock ran up. I didn't trim it as much as I should have done, really, given the situation right now. But it's just a little reminder to us all, we need to trim our positions when they run up a lot. Even companies like Tesla, it does make sense to trim our positions. This is what all major companies do, major investment firms do. But having said that, let's dive into the details about this situation. So this is the report, and this will show you how unscientific these short seller reports are. And they're all designed to create emotion in us, in investors, in order to get them to sell stock. So EHANG, a stock promotion destined to crash and burn. So this is what they said in the report, which was released. So this is their opinion. They have a large stake in this stock and they benefit financially from this stock declining. So let's dive into their opinion. EHANG is an elaborate stock promotion built on largely fabricated revenues based on sham sales contracts with a customer who appears to be more interested in helping inflate the value of its investment in EHANG. Now, there's a lot of different aspects to this report. It's 30 pages long. So I'm just going to dive into a couple of the key points. So EHANG's only disclosed distributor, Shanghai Kungjiang. Now, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, sorry guys, comment the correct pronunciation below. We'll just call it Shanghai K in this video. Appears to have signed sham contracts with EHANG intended to inflate EHANG stock price. So K's real operations appear to be a fraction of what they claimed online. So 2 out of 3 of the addresses K lists for itself in Shanghai were fake, according to Wolfpack Research. The first address we visited turned out to be an upscale hotel. The receptionist and manager told us there wasn't office space in the hotel and they never heard of K. So this is a company which bought product from EHANG allegedly. The second address we went to was in a large business park. We found that the address for K listed in the page was on the 13th floor, and the building only had 11 floors. So this company, this hedge fund, they've gone around China and they're searching this company's suppliers, this company's customers, and they're looking for something that looks legit, and they're finding things that don't look as legit as they'd like to see. But they do have a large short position in the company. So yeah, it's one of those. We can take it all with a massive pinch of salt. So here's a point here. We visited EHANG's corporate headquarters main manufacturing facility in Guangzhou, apologies for pronunciation again, guys, and found that EHANG's supposed manufacturing facility lacks advanced manufacturing equipment, a basic assembly line, and was practically empty on a weekday afternoon. Now, the facility has near zero security, which is highly unusual for any reasonable sized factory. Our Chinese manufacturing expert told us they had seen coat hanger factories in China with more security than EHANG's Guangzhou factory and corporate headquarters. Now, firstly, let's just look at the emotion they're using there. Our expert told us they'd seen more security in a coat hanger factory. That's not very professional. It's not very research driven. A scientist would never write a report like this. Someone who didn't have a stake in the company would never write a report like this. Even if some parts of the report are true, there's a lot of emotion in the report, and that's what I don't like to see. But let's take their points on board. Let's see what this company has found out. So they walked up to the entrance and they noticed there was only one security guard at the front door. We were able to simply walk around the back and go right in to the wide open back door, see picture below. Now, this is not something you would expect from a major sort of air flight company. I do admit that. Now, we walked freely throughout the facility for 20 minutes on a weekday afternoon without seeing a single employee working or on any of the three supposed manufacturing floors of the building. This reminded us of the China-based frauds we were exposed to a decade ago, who simply didn't have enough employees to be manufacturing in the volumes they claimed. There did not seem to be anything happening at this facility, which in our experience is a good indication that the business is not where it claimed in its SEC filings, to say the least. So the second point they said is we could not find any industrial grade manufacturing machinery, an assembly line, raw material infantry, or special work zones typically seen in automobile or drone factories. On the contrary, we noticed some light assembly areas. So they noticed this light assembly area here. Doesn't look that busy and that thriving. So light assembly areas. On the third floor, we found hundreds of boxes of pre-manufactured parts, which appeared to be parts of the passenger grade EH216, which is the EHANG model. So this is what they expected to see. This big sort of busy factory. This is a traditional sort of drone manufacturing factory. This is what they expected to see when they visited the factory. So this is one of their main points. Now, firstly, we need to just clarify some facts. EHANG has denied this report. EHANG states this is complete deception. So we need to just find out the facts of this situation. It's still unfolding at the moment, but I did find out some information online. I'll dive into that right now. So here's what this person said. I don't know the details of this person, but they do seem to make some good points. EHANG is going to make a full public disclosure very soon, so we'll be waiting eagerly to see what EHANG says regarding these allegations. But basically it says, I've just read the report in full, and a lot of what it says in the report doesn't seem to add up. For one, the AAV portion of EHANG is only a small portion of the business. Regular drones and drone deliveries are what most of its profits come from, but the report made zero mentions of those, which is true. Second, one of the major companies that partners with EHANG to produce its products is FACC, a leading aeronautics company, and the report never mentions it once. Also, this comment says, after carefully looking into it again, I think Wolfpack has no case here. They claim to have visited EHANG's factory, but their main production facility is with FACC in Austria. So they visited a facility in China, and they're saying this doesn't look like a full manufacturing facility. EHANG's main production facility is actually in Austria, where they're doing a lot of test flights at the moment. So there's a lot of misinformation at the moment. It's hard to find out exactly what the truth is at the moment. So let's dive back into the short seller report. Now, they also consulted an expert in the aeronautics sort of drone division, Dr. Moore. Now, an issue with this is they've only consulted one expert, but they have consulted an expert on this. And they've asked him basically about the difference between EHANG and other companies like Joby Aviation. Now, I did cover Joby Aviation. Ticker symbol RTP for the SPAC company. I did invest into Joby Aviation. Fantastic company. And they've stated, I haven't seen EHANG's facility, but if you were to walk into Joby's facilities, you would be impressed. There's a lot going on. There's 600 people. There's great experiments going on. There's flight demonstrations at restricted military air bases, FAA observers. So this is what's happening at Joby Aviation right now, a company which I recommended on this channel on a previous video. But at EHANG, according to Wolfpack Research, there's nothing going on when they visited the factory. So that's something that needs clarifying. It is obviously a major issue, and that's why the stock has crashed. There are a lot of other points in this research report, but I don't like the emotion they've used in the report. To me, it just seems a little bit too unprofessional, considering this company is trying to provide a legitimate report on the company. So here's one. It says, security guard, the hardest working EHANG employee we saw during our investigation. So this is outside the EHANG HQ. And there's a security guard sitting down on the floor. Every security guard does this. It's not a military base. It's a company that makes drones. The security guard, being a security guard is a boring job. Of course, taking a seat every once in a while. It's not a reason to sell your stock because the security guard of a company has sat down on a hot day to have a break. That's a normal part of life. You could see that Google and Facebook headquarters. I didn't go sell their stock. So there's too much emotion in it for me. They do make some good points. I think if they just made the good points, it'd actually be a bit more credible. So there's points here about basically one of their main customers, this Shanghai K company, Kunjiang. And basically they said the quantity is for 3 units here, but they've not actually been paid for these units. And the company who purchased these products from EHANG actually makes similar products also, and the company paid a lot more than it usually pays for these type of products. So that does need clarifying. That's a good point. This is in an SEC filing, so I think that's a main point that needs clarifying. Also, where is EHANG's full production facility? That needs clarifying. And if you look at the bottom report, it says, this information represents an expression of our opinions, which we have based upon generally available information, field research. So there's a lot of opinions there. We need to find out the facts. So let's look at the company behind this research report. We know their motive is to make the stock crash, which they seem to have succeeded at so far. Is it a reputable short-selling firm? Do they have a great record of short-selling opportunities? Let's look at some of their past short seller reports and the results of those reports. So the first here we can see is a short on Remark Holdings, ticker symbol MARK. And we can see they released that report in August the 11th, 2020. We're here August the 11th. The stock was around $1 per share. And now the stock is up by 255%. So that was an absolute catastrophe. That was not a great short seller report for them. They were completely wrong there. The stock continued to climb higher and is up 255%. Now, I'm not even against this short selling company. Short sellers supposedly provide a valid part of the market in order to help us identify potential issues with companies, but they've been wrong here, 225%. Let's check out their other companies. Maybe they've been right before. Inspire Medical Systems, a nightmare investment. This was their other short seller report. Inspire Medical Systems, that was released on April the 22nd. So April 22nd, the stock was $69 per share. They released the report. The stock didn't decline. The stock increased by 230%. So they were wrong again. I do feel quite bad for these guys now, actually. Long story short, I quickly checked through their past 6 short sell reports, and they've only been right once out of the past 6 short selling reports. Now, that doesn't mean they're wrong this time, but it doesn't give them a massive amount of credibility in terms of us listening to the information they're providing. But there may be some facts in there, and that's what we need to find out as investors. So this is EHANG's response. So EHANG responds to deceptive Wolfpack Research report. So the company will consider any necessary and appropriate course of action to protect the interests of the company and all of its shareholders. EHANG is committed to maintaining the highest standards of corporate governance as well as transparent and timely disclosure in compliance with applicable rules and regulations under the United States Securities and Exchanges Commission. So to me, that's not a very robust response. I was expecting a lot more from EHANG. Hopefully they're working on some sort of report in order to dispute this short selling report. I'm hoping they're working on that. That will help us to clarify in this report what is right in the report and what is wrong in the report. So what are my final thoughts on this whole situation? Well, the short seller report looks very interesting. There are a few key points on there. Some of those are red flags that we need to investigate further and find out the true facts of what's going on with EHANG. Is it a true, legitimate company? We need to wait for a more thorough response from EHANG. However, on the other side of the coin, Wolfpack Research is not a very reputable short-selling firm. They've not had major success in their past 6 short-selling positions. They must have lost a lot of money over the past year because they've been wrong 5 times out of 6 in their past short selling. Also, we need to look at some recent developments with EHANG, which does seem quite legitimate to me. So first one here, EHANG announced $40 million investment from Carmignac. Now, Carmignac is a leading European asset management firm, and this company has invested $40 million into EHANG. So this was on January the 29th, 2021, so fairly recently. So to me, a major hedge fund, a major European hedge fund we can trust, it would be safe to assume that a major hedge fund investing into EHANG would have done its research and due diligence into the company's financials and the company's whole situation. So that's something that can give us a little bit of peace of mind with EHANG. Second, I want to dive into the DHL website because they didn't mention DHL and the partnership they've got with them, which to me is a major selling point for EHANG at the moment. So this is on DHL's own website. So EHANG hasn't made this up on their website. This is on DHL's website. We can trust DHL. So DHL Express launches its first regular, fully automated and intelligent urban drone delivery service. So DHL Express and EHANG entered into a strategic partnership in China to realize a major innovation in smart logistics. So to me, that's a major partnership. This was released by DHL Taiwan. So it's still DHL, it's still a reputable company which has released this information. Next we want to dive into is Chinese self-flying car maker EHANG joins Paris push for air mobility. So this is a major selling point for EHANG at the moment. EHANG's flight over Korea. So EHANG's 216 Korean flight tour. So according to the mayor of Seoul in Korea, to tackle the traffic congestion, we will try our best to develop UAM and turn it into an engine for our economic development. So we can see this video here. This is on EHANG's website, by the way. Full disclosure in case this is some sort of CGI, but it looks quite legit. From what I can see here, this is flying over Korea and Seoul. To me, that looks quite legit in terms of it's got an operating vehicle, which seems to be a lot more than many other companies have at the moment. So over a densely populated area, EHANG is on the NASDAQ. It's not an OTC stock. I'm assuming the Korean mayor would have commented on this and said, hey, that's complete rubbish. But he's actually made comments on this and said, this did actually happen. It is legitimate. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So please do comment your thoughts below on EHANG stock. In other news, I do want to dive into another stock in the urban air mobility space. So a stock I did recommend on this channel as a potential value play instead of investing into EHANG. So that company is ticker symbol ACIC. That's a SPAC company. And this is Archer. So it's an urban air mobility company. So based in the US, so that can give you guys a bit of peace of mind. Now, it's still a speculative company like all these urban air mobility companies, but ARK Invest recently bought shares in this company. So ARK Invest recently bought $5.27 million of shares in the SPAC company ACIC for Archer. Now, I've got a full video on Archer. I'll leave that in the description below. I recommend you guys watch that to find out more about that company. Still a speculative play, still a high risk, high reward play, but it's a US company, so you guys may want a bit more exposure to the US space. So what am I personally doing with regards to my EHANG stock? Well, I did trim my position slightly last week, although I wish I did it a little bit more. So I'm not too bothered at the moment. My position's probably down about 20% at the moment, maybe 10%, 20% at the moment. So at the moment, I'm just holding my position until I get more information from EHANG regarding this report. And I will be keeping my eye out. And if I do find any information, if I am selling the stock, if I'm buying more of the stock because the stock price has plummeted massively, I will be letting you guys know. If you guys want to find out this information in real time, check out that first link in the description below for the VIP membership group. There I'll be giving you real-time updates on exactly what I'm doing with EHANG stock. Am I buying more? Am I selling more? And all the other stocks in my portfolio. With that being said, if you guys found some value in this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That helps out tremendously with YouTube. If you're new around here and you still haven't subscribed, feel free to join the investing family by hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you all well and invest safe.